Senator Heller.
Thank you, Madam Chairwoman. Thank you for holding this hearing, and I want to thank you personally for your hard work and effort on this particular issue. We've worked together on our subcommittee and have had interesting hearings, to say the least. I want to thank the nominees that are here today and congratulate you. I also want to welcome the families also, whether they're here or elsewhere, watching today's hearing, and they should be very proud of this moment. Like the others, I think my questions will more be towards you, Dr. Rosekind, because of the subcommittee hearings and the issues that have been brought up because of that. Obviously, it's imperative for the American people to know their cars are safe. I know you agree with that. We all agree with that. But you are walking into an agency that has lost trust with the American people. I guess my question is this. When you had this conversation with the President, did he acknowledge the loss of trust for this particular agency?
We haven't had that discussion directly, but I would say part of my nomination is to come before you acknowledging the work that needs to be done. And I appreciate that question because it gives me a chance to highlight in my statement. I understand the specific juncture of which I'm about to step into if confirmed, and I think the challenges are tremendous. But I also view this as a tremendous opportunity, frankly, because I think there's a chance that these hearings and other activities have clearly identified many directions that need to be examined, pursued, acted on. And I think that some of those opportunities are going to mean actually safer roads, safer vehicles for all of us.
Did you have a specific conversation with the President about restoring credibility to the agency?
Not specifically with the President, no.
Did you have a specific conversation with him about what your detailed plan is to turn the agency around?
I appreciate the question to say it's not been with the President. I've talked, those kinds of conversations been more with the Secretary.
Okay, okay. I want to change topics for just a minute, and we boiled on this a little bit earlier about what we're doing in Nevada. They're building probably the most advanced cars in the country, in the state of Nevada. Tesla announced a new gigafactory to build their vehicles here. Here's my concern. You know, GM has even said publicly that they didn't understand how their cars worked. Takata, we had that discussion last week. Now we have a new discussion with Graco about their child safety seats, and things are moving in odd directions. Here's my concern. If GM doesn't understand how their vehicles work, how does NHTSA come to the conclusion about how their vehicles work?
I appreciate that question because it gives me a chance to highlight how there is an ongoing technological challenge to always make sure you're not just keeping pace, but actually trying to stay ahead. So I'm third generation San Francisco. I come from Silicon Valley. It's about bleeding edge technology, not leading edge. So I totally get this. And in fact, Senator McCaskill's early question, NASA, NTSB, it's always a challenge to figure out how these agencies maintain highly trained technical individuals who can be doing their jobs with these different industries that they're interacting with. So the challenge there is identifying the people, keeping them, but most important is what you've just stated, frankly, and that's knowing that that challenge is out there. The worst thing that happens is the boredom, complacency, basically, where people aren't continuing to learn and stay up to speed on what's going on.
Do you believe that NHTSA today has the right employees to do that?
I appreciate that question because as a nominee, I haven't seen yet the specific layout of all the particular expertise. I think that's a question that needs to be not only asked, but some of the evaluations of personnel, that needs to be one of the specific things that you look for. That's part of what I'm committing to, is take a fresh new set of eyes and a different approach and go after those questions. And if you find where improvements could be made, make them.
Obviously, resources are the questions. Probably most important, as they talked about your flat budget over the last few years. And I am just concerned that you'll have the employees and the expertise in your shop in order to stay ahead of the new technology that's coming down the road. How can you convince me that that's your top priority?
One, I'm just going to repeat, I'm from Silicon Valley. It's all about the technology part. And having worked at NASA and NTSB, which are two technical organizations, if your technical expertise isn't up to speed, things don't fly, things don't get investigated accurately, et cetera. It is critical. So, and that's why I have to admit, I'm less about counting the numbers as looking at what you're talking about, which is the expertise of the personnel to get their job done.
Yeah. I think in some of the subcommittee hearings we've noticed that it's been difficult to connect the dots. NHTSA has had problems connecting the dots, and that's why we are where we are today. Again, congratulations to all of you, and thank you, Madam Chairman. I yield back.